Welcome back, friends. Learning Nails and Aesthetics. We are continuing Chapter 8, Business Skills, Career Planning, in the Milady Foundations book. Activity, mock interviews. Oh, keep in mind, I am not AI. Mistakes will be made. Also, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Check out my other videos as well. I'm reading the Milady Foundations book, this one, and the Milady Aesthetics book, as well as the Milady Nails book. Then, of course, all the unboxing, polishing fun, nail stickers and charms, and I'm going to try some very interesting things in future videos. Let's get into it. Activity. Mock interviews. Find a partner among your fellow students and role play the employment interview. Each of you can take turns as the applicant and the employer. After each session, conduct a brief discussion regarding how it went. That is, what did and did not work. Discuss how your performance could be improved. Bear in mind that a role-playing activity will never predict exactly what will occur in a real interview. However, the process will help prepare you for the interview and boost your confidence. Another critical part of the interview comes when you are invited to ask the interviewer questions of your own. You should think about those questions ahead of time and bring a list. If necessary, doing so will show that you are organized and prepared. Some questions that you might consider include the following. What are you looking for in a beauty professional? Is there a job description? May I review it? Is there a salon, spa, or barbershop manual? May I review it? How does the salon, spa, or barbershop promote itself? How long do beauty professionals typically work here? I'm not too sure I'd ask that question, but I'm sure these people who wrote this book are pretty educated, but as a salon owner, I think I would find that kind of insulting. That they're kind of questioning if you have a high turnover rate, which is typically because people don't like where they work. So, I think I would avoid that question. Anyway, are employees encouraged to grow in skills and responsibility? How so? Does the salon, spa, or barbershop offer continuing education opportunities? What does your training program involve? Is there room for advancement? If so, what are the requirements for promotion? What key benefits does the salon, spa, or barbershop offer, such as advanced training and medical insurance? What outside and community activities is the salon, spa, or barbershop involved in? What is the form of compensation? When will the position be filled? May I contact you in a week regarding your decision? May I have a tour of the salon, spa, or barbershop? Do not feel you have to ask all of your questions. The point is to create as much of a dialogue as possible. Be aware of the interviewer's reactions and make note of when you have asked enough questions. By obtaining the answers to at least some of your questions, you can compare the information you have gathered about the salon, spa, or barbershop and choose the one that offers the best package of income and career development. Remember to follow up the interview with a thank you note or an email. It should simply thank the interviewer for their time he or she spent with you. Close with a positive statement that you want the job, if you do. If the interviewer's decision comes down to 2 or 3 possibilities, the one expressing the most desire may be offered the position. Also, if the interviewer suggests that you call to learn about the employment decision, by all means do so. Legal aspects of the employment interview. Over the years, a number of legal issues have arisen about questions that may or may not be included in an employment application or interview, including ones that involve race, ethnicity, religion, national origin, marital status, sexual orientation, and whether you have children. Generally, there should be no questions in any of these categories. Additional categories to appropriate and inappropriate questions are listed below. Age or date of birth. It is permissible to ask the age of applicants if they are younger than 18. Otherwise, age should not be relevant in most hiring decisions. Therefore, date of birth questions prior to employment are improper. Disabilities or physical traits. The Americans with Disabilities Act prohibits general inquiries about health problems, disabilities, and medical conditions. Drug use or smoking. Questions regarding drug or tobacco use are permitted. In fact, the employer may obtain the applicant's agreement to be bound by the employer's drug and smoking policies and to submit to drug testing. Citizenship. Employers are not allowed to discriminate because of an applicant is not a U.S. citizen. However, employers can request to see a green card or work permit. It is important to recognize that not all potential employers will understand that they may be asking improper or illegal questions. If you are asked such questions, you might politely respond that you believe the question is irrelevant to the position you are seeking, and that you would like to focus on your qualities and skills that are suited to the job and the mission of the establishment. Did you know? These are examples of illegal questions as compared to legal questions. Illegal questions. How old are you? Please describe your medical history. Are you a U.S. citizen? What is your native language? I think the language one should be, because that could be beneficial if people speak multiple languages, but maybe you just need to word it differently. Just ask them if they speak multiple languages, I suppose. Legal questions. Are you over the age of 18? Are you physically able to perform this job? Are you authorized to work in the United States? In which languages are you fluent? Employee contracts. Employers can legally require you to sign contracts as a condition of employment. In the salon, spa, and barbershop business, the most common are non-compete and confidentiality agreements. Owners often invest a great deal in training and don't want you to take all that education to a competing business across the street once your apprenticeship or initial training is complete. Non-compete agreements address the issue of prohibiting you from seeking employment within a given time period and geographic area. Geographic area after you leave employment with them. Often, non-compete agreements also forbid employees from gathering and keeping client records, including client phone numbers. A contract cannot interfere with your right to work as a result. These contracts must be very specific and are sometimes controversial. If you are presented with any contract, take it home, read it, and make certain you completely understand it. If you do not completely understand any part of it, consult with a labor law attorney before signing it. Doing it right. You are ready to set out on your exciting new career as a beauty professional. The right way to proceed is by learning important study and test-taking skills early and apply them consistently. Think ahead to your employment opportunities and use your time in school to develop a record of interesting, noteworthy activities that will make your resume more exciting. When you compile a history that shows how you have achieved your goals, your confidence will grow. Always take one step at a time. Be sure to take the helpful preliminary steps that we have discussed when preparing for employment. Develop a dynamic portfolio. Keep your materials, information, and questions organized in order to ensure a high-impact interview. Once you are employed, take the necessary steps to learn all that you can about your new position and the establishment you will be serving. Read all you can about the industry, attend trade shows, and take advantage of as much continuing education as you can manage. Become an active participant in efforts to make the beauty and wellness industry even better. As you transition into your new career as a beauty professional, let Milady continue the journey with you. Be sure to visit miladypro.com website. In addition to helping you prepare for your state board exam, Milady Pro offers access to materials designed to help you hit the ground running and grow your skill set, assuring long-term success no matter where you may take your career. Check in. What questions are illegal to be asked when interviewing for a job? Apply career planning. Congratulations on completing this chapter. Before you move on, take a moment to think about how these career planning topics apply to your particular discipline. Discuss with a classmate or a study group what procedures you will need to practice for your practical exam. What types of salons, spas, and barbershops can be found locally and which you prefer. What you expect interviews in your discipline will require, and so on. Competency progress. How are you doing with career planning? Check off the Chapter 8 learning objectives below that you feel you have mastered. Leave unchecked those objectives you will need to return to. Explain career planning. Review the state licensing examination process. Discover potential employers. Develop an effective resume. Prepare for a job interview in the beauty industry. Glossary. Deductive reasoning. The process of reaching logical conclusions by employing logical reasoning. Networking. A method of increasing contacts and building relationships to further one's career. Practical exams. Hands-on testing on a live model. Resume. A written summary of a person's education and work experience. STEM. The basic question or problem. Test-wise. Understanding the strategies for successful test taking. Transferable skills. The skills mastered at other jobs that can be put into use into a new position. That brings us to Chapter 9, On the Job. This I will be recording in the next few days. I know I probably say that at the end of every video, but that depends on my client load and apparently on my internet connection. The storms outside, I've had some issues with some videos. Anyway, don't forget about my other videos. Please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Comment maybe some videos that you'd like to see if you have products that you're interested in. Types of modalities or, any procedures, services, anything like that. I am a licensed nail tech and esthetician. So yeah, comment. Let me know what you're thinking. I'd appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye.